My name is Foxye, and I am the founder of I Speak Foxye. That is an organization that advocates for those who have experienced sexual assault, domestic violence, and mental abuse. I keep moving. How much more could I accomplish if I kept moving? For example, I had a fear of being in public places, which is probably hard for a lot of people to believe, because I'm always out in the public. I'm always doing things in the public, whether it's a health fair or some sort of event or teaching or something of that sort. But I have a real fear of being in public places. However, in order to overcome that, I just keep moving. I just stay in the moment. Whatever it is that I'm afraid of, for example, being in a public restaurant. If I'm sitting in the middle of the restaurant, they have the tables out in front in the middle, I have anxiety. Sometimes it turns into a full-blown panic attack. What I have learned is that my fear comes from receiving something that's unexpected. For example, someone coming up behind me, attacking me from behind, and I not see it coming. And so I've learned to be in the moment for the moment. At this moment, I'm not being attacked. At this moment, there's nothing for me to be afraid of. And so I keep moving. And I do that same thing in other areas of my life. I just keep moving. As long as you stay still and you remain in that moment of being afraid, you will continue to be afraid, and it stops your forward movement, which is something else that I am very opposed to, is something or someone stopping my forward movement. Sammy Davis Jr. Gave a quote. He said, "You always have two choices, your commitment versus your fear." And that is how I stay motivated to continue to grow my organization. Dealing with sexual assault, there are all types of fears. There are all types of obstacles. There is self-doubt. There's the imposter syndrome. There is the fact that if I'm talking about this, if I'm teaching about this, if I'm raising awareness about this, then I must be able to recognize it in every aspect of my life. And if I fail to do that, then maybe I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or maybe I don't know what I'm doing. And that's not true. That is far from being true. My commitment to doing this work, my commitment to fulfilling my purpose, my commitment to helping all the women in my lineage heal from sexual assault, domestic violence, and mental abuse is far greater than my fear. And each and every time I become afraid, I am reminded of that purpose. I'm reminded of that task that has been given to me. So once we have experienced trauma, and I say we because of course I've had my share of trauma over many, many years, we begin a journey, and that journey is one towards healing. And healing is something that is ongoing. It's not something that stops. Like, okay, I'm healed from trauma and I'm never gonna have another episode of it. That's not true. And so one of those things that would help to minimize that fear related to trauma or the fear after a trauma is to recognize that this is not something that's going to stop. This is something that you learn to control, you learn to manage, you learn good coping skills for, but it's not something that completely goes away. Because even though you may have less episodes, there's always that same possibility that it'll come up again. So I want to read something that James Baldwin said about such a journey, because it's very befitting when it comes to fear after trauma. He said, "I'm about to undertake the journey, and this is a journey, to tell you the truth, which I always knew I would always have to make, but had hoped, perhaps certainly had hoped, not to have to make so soon. I'm saying that a journey is called that because you cannot know what you will discover on the journey, what you will do with what you find, or what you find will do to you. And I say that because I look at life after trauma as a work of art. And when you're creating art, it's a journey. It's a process. There are steps to it. But at the same time, you're right up close to it, so you can't see the big picture. And sometimes the stroke doesn't look right. Sometimes it feels like, oh my God, I'm scared all the time. And then the next day, I'm not afraid. The steps to doing that, of becoming unafraid, is first you make a decision to become unafraid. You make the decision that I'm not going to be afraid of this or that again. Or that I'm going to learn to overcome this fear. I'm going to learn to walk through this fear. You journal about it. You write it down. Write down what it is that you're afraid of. Write down how your body responds to that particular experience. Write down where you feel it in your body. Start to study yourself. Start to study your own body, your own soul, and how it responds to different things. And once you've journaled about it, I want you to meditate. I want you to get quiet. Listen to your thoughts. Listen to the things that you're saying to yourself. Because many times those are the things that are keeping us afraid. It's not really an actual event that's currently going on. It's our minds reminding us of the past. Visualize yourself in the future. Visualize yourself in a place of not being afraid of that particular thing. Visualize yourself in a place of being able to walk through that fear. And I say walk through it because many times the fear doesn't leave. You just learn how to walk through it. And that's what I've learned how to do, is how to just walk through the fear and keep going. Because I think it was Will Smith who said the greatest things are on the other side of fear. And I always remember that. Because anytime I'm afraid of something, that means something absolutely phenomenal is going to come from it. My definition of success is very simple. It is to make someone else's life better. And that life includes my own life. If I have done something, if I have said something, if I have giving someone a smile or giving someone a token of appreciation, if I have done something for someone that has made their life better, then I have reached success. My goal and my purpose is continuously do that, continuously make people's lives better, especially in the area of sexual assault, because sexual assault is one of the most unappreciated traumas there is. People don't talk about it. They're afraid of the topic. They're afraid of revealing some things about themselves or about others who are close to them or about people that they've kept a secret for. Sexual assault is very underreported for many, many reasons. And so people are living with these types of trauma throughout their lives. My goal and my purpose is to make their lives better, whether or not they ever speak about what happened to them, just to make their lives better. That is a daily goal, to make their lives better. And as I make their lives better, I make my own life better. And as I make my life better, I make theirs better. And so that is my definition of success.